We're in focus. And we are doing our thing. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This week I'm taking a look at a Rizzini. At last I've managed to get hands on a Rizzini. This one came in second hand, so I thought I'd grab it and take a look. I am still hoping to get hold of some of their more interesting guns, like the BR460 for instance, but this one came in used, so I thought I'd grab it. The V3 is their sort of youth and ladies gun. That said, I didn't know that when I picked it up. I saw Rizzini used on the rack, grabbed it, and shot it before I actually did any research, and it turns out it's actually a youth and ladies gun. I would have gotten Mrs. P to shoot it and actually do the review for you, but she's not been very well recently. We've moved house, it's been a bit stressful, so I'm afraid you're just going to have to take my word for it. I'll do the early bits and then we'll do shooting impressions. So 30-inch barrels with flush multi-chokes, ventilated mid and top rib. The top rib is a 10mm non-tapered rib with a red front bead. I really like this rib. It's nice and bold, gives you a good sort of surface that you can see quite nicely. I actually dig this rib a lot. The forend, nice and rounded with a finger choil. We've got laser cut checkering, which is quite nicely done. The wood, it's like a half decent grade 1 with a kind of a varnish finish on it that looks quite well. The gun is chambered 3-inch, steel shot proofed. The action lockup is 2 lugs on the bottom of the monoblock that lock up to a little lip that protrudes out from the bottom of the action floor. Very similar to a lot of Italian guns in this sort of price bracket, to be honest. The ejector's timed quite nicely. The metal finish is pretty good. Wood to metal fit is pretty good. Metal to metal fit is, again, pretty good for a gun of this price. Trigger pulls are fine, a little bit of creep, but nothing awful. One thing I did notice with this gun is the barrel selector does seem to jump back to top first constantly, regardless of the number of times I've set it back to bottom. So I just ended up leaving it on top. And there is a ring that you can probably hear from the action. That ring is present when you shoot the gun as well. You can actually hear it, feel it ringing. It might annoy you, it might not. It's just a thing. Coming back to the grip, it is a nice palm swell, reasonably well radius, not too tight. Obviously aimed at a youth market, a little bit tighter than perhaps an adult-sized gun, but not so much that you couldn't shoot it. I can shoot it. Nice palm swell, and then into this nice sport of stock. It's not too thin, not too thick, quite nicely proportioned. 14.5-inch length of pull with this recoil pad. It comes in a black plastic case, pretty sort of standard stuff, not ridiculous. £7, and the gun retails just under £2 grand. Shooting wise, actually really nice. It's a 20, so obviously recoil's nothing to write home about, but it balances beautifully from this smaller action. £7 weight, it balances really nicely, moves just fast enough but not too fast, and isn't too whippy. It's actually a really nice gun. Whether or not you'd seek this out over, for instance, a CG Siren or a Vittoria, or one of the many other female or youth-oriented guns in the marketplace, I guess that's up to you whether or not you dig that the pedigree or the styling. My only complaint really is this black and yellow on the action. I think it looks a bit meh. My preference would be for something a bit more muted. I know this sounds daft for me with my Pattison, with red Pattison on the side, but I don't know, there's just something about that bright yellow that doesn't really speak to me. I have seen these also with pink, and I've seen an all black one that I thought looked much nicer. That's not really a valid criticism. At the end of the day, your desire to own it will not be affected by that, or you may like it. At 2K, it's definitely in there with offerings from Caesar Guerini and Beretta and Browning, etc. It's really up to you what your choice is. As ever, when it comes to choosing stuff like this, I'd see if I could get my hands on one of everything and shoot and see what you prefer. As a 20 bore though, I don't know, I don't understand quite why you would buy a 20 bore for clays. If it's something that you're going to use as a combination field gun and clay gun, it might be a good choice. But with the price of ammo at the moment, 20 bore being what it is, it's ruinous. The benefits, I think, for a youth shooter or a lady shooter who's a bit more recoil shy, a £7 gun shooting a 24 gram cartridge is going to recoil more than a £7.5 12 bore shooting a 24 gram cartridge. So, and the cartridges are cheaper. It is what it is, and it is what you want. Guys, thanks very much for tuning in. I hope to get more Rizzinis in the future. The channel is as ever supported by Bywell Shooting Ground, Hull Cartridge and Mac Wet Gloves. Guys, follow, subscribe, comment, the usual stuff. Please do. It does help when you do, and I do try and reply to comments when I get them. I will see you next time.